117.
Nothing says summer like dropping the top on a convertible and throwing on some shades and letting the wind race around you on the open road. But have you ever stopped to wonder just how safe that topless joyride really is? Well, our FYI reporter Yolanda Vasquez did, and here's what she found out about some popular sunshine soakers.
As convertibles continue to grow in popularity, so do concerns about their overall safety.
The whole idea of a safe car is much more a part of people's consciousness than it used to be.
So much so, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety tested the crashworthiness of 10 mid-size convertibles. Senior Vice President of Vehicle Research David Zuby says the test is broken down into 3 categories. Vehicles are evaluated on how they perform in front, side, and rear crash tests.
All of the crash tests that we run are intended to simulate the kinds of crashes that occur in the real world on real roads.
During our visit to the Institute's Vehicle Research Center in Ruckersville, Virginia, engineers prepped a 2008 Chrysler Sebring for a front offset crash test.
All right, we're exiting the shut now.
As the countdown clock starts to wind down, you can hear the sound of the car whizzing down the track at a speed of 40 miles per hour. As the Sebring smacks into the fixed aluminum barrier, the impact severely crushes the front end. It looks like a pretty bad crash, but Zuby says it's actually a good one.
Something's got to crush when you crash a car into a barrier at 40 miles an hour. This is the part that we want to crush.
More importantly, notice the occupant compartment where the driver sits. It's pretty much intact. All the vehicles in the front offset crash test received a good or acceptable rating. In fact, when the Institute began crash testing convertibles, they assumed the drop tops might not perform as well as fixed roof cars.
The reason we had that hypothesis was because we know that vehicle manufacturers are using the pillars and the roof strength to help keep the safety cage intact.
But what they discovered is automakers are putting the strength in other parts of the car.
Mainly in the lower parts of the car, the rail underneath the door, and in this area back here, sort of surrounding the rear seat, this horseshoe shape surrounding the rear seats.
The most surprising results came during the side impact crash test. All cars either had standard or optional side impact airbags. The results in this test turned out to be good or acceptable, with the exception of 3 vehicles: the BMW 3 Series, the Audi A4 Cabriolet, and the Pontiac G6. They received marginal ratings. Forces on the driver dummy in the 3 Series and A4 indicate the potential for chest injuries, while a driver of the G6 could experience serious head trauma.
The issue with Pontiac G6 is that it's only available with an airbag to protect the chest. There isn't protection for the head of the driver.
While the convertibles fared pretty well in the front offset and the side impact crash tests, the results weren't so favorable in the rear impact crash test. In fact, only 2 out of 10 convertibles tested received a good rating. Those cars were the Saab 9-3 and the Volvo C70. Both of these vehicles are equipped with active front seat head restraints that provide added protection against whiplash.
The idea of a head restraint is that when you're hit from behind, your car starts moving forward, you start moving forward, and if there isn't support for the head and neck, your head sort of gets left behind.
Only the relatively expensive Saab 9-3 and the Volvo C70 earned the Institute's top safety pick award for superior crash protection in all 3 tests. Both include pop-up roll bars, a mandatory requirement for this automotive honor. So the next time you have your eye on that shiny new drop-top convertible, remember safety is just as important as style.